Hey everybody, this is Jody from Food Storage Made Easy. I'm here with my buddy Krista, who is my partner in crime with Thrive, and today we are doing a review on freeze-dried spinach. If you are watching this video in May of 2023, it is on special this month, so yay, we're talking about it. So spinach freeze-dried, it's not ever going to rehydrate like a fresh spinach leaf. It is, my lighting is terrible, but it looks like a dried herb or marijuana or something. I don't know, but this is what it looks like. I love it. I use it all the time. My favorite thing to use it for is green smoothies. So that's what I'm going to show you today. And then we'll talk about a couple other things. And Krista's also going to show you one of her favorite things. My lighting's a little bad today, so I'm going to turn this way. And we are going to talk about smoothies. So the awesome thing about Thrive is you can use any assortment of fruits and veggies to make your smoothie. And if you want to make them extra healthy, you add something green. Spinach is kind of the most common thing people add in a green smoothie, but you can do zucchini, you can do broccoli, whatever floats your boat. So to make a smoothie, all I do, I started with a little over a cup of water, and then I threw some ice in there. And one thing that I like to make my smoothies a little creamier is to add milk. So you can make a smoothie with milk or water or whatever. And our instant milk is actually also on sale for the summer for 60% off. And so it is a good time to buy milk for your food storage if you don't have a lot. So I'm gonna do just about a cup's worth, which is 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna add that in. That just makes my smoothie a little creamier, get a little protein in there. And it's on sale. It's probably cheaper doing it from Thrive right now with how cheap it is than buying it from the grocery store. So for the green part, if you're using zucchini, you can get away with a little more. The spinach is very concentrated. So you are not going to want to use much more than a third to half a cup. So I'm doing about half a cup in here, maybe a little less than half a cup. Otherwise, it's going to taste really, really, really green, and you're not going to want to eat it, okay? And then for the smoothies, I always like bananas. It just gives it a nice, like smooth texture, but I don't like it to be overpowered with bananas, so I do about half a cup. And then you just pick and choose your favorite fruits from there. Sometimes I'll do with what's on sale. Sometimes I'll just do with what sounds delicious. And also another trick. So now that I live in where it's very humid, this is what happens to my food if I don't get to it in time. So I have pineapple that is a little mushy. There was some powder in the can. It's not very yummy to just snack on, but this is awesome for smoothies. It's like potent, powerful, yummy pina colada flavor in my smoothie. So I just rip off some pieces so it doesn't go to waste. But I've started eating more out of the smaller cans, because if we don't eat through it too fast, then it is not so bueno. And then also another trick. So I have a lot of powder at the end of this can. So my kids, of course, open a new can, even though there's still a little bit left in here. So you can just get, I'll show you. There's a little bit of the strawberries, but it's just powder. This you can use to make frosting, but it's also, again, really good to just throw in your smoothie. We don't like to waste, right? So whereas at the end of your package of strawberries, they're all moldy, well, the end of my strawberries are delicious powder that I can use this. So, but then of course, you've already almost eaten this one too. You get when you have 7 kids. But I'm glad that they're eating Thrive instead of something else. So, and then Fuji apples were also on sale this month. So I cooked a yummy apple crisp with this earlier. I'm adding in maybe like 2 cups of fruit again. I have crumbs in there too. We're gonna have a crumb delicious smoothie. So I like to do, like I said, about maybe half a cup of the green. Unless you're doing something that's bulkier green, like zucchini or broccoli, you could do a little bit more. And then I'm just gonna dip it up in the blender. It's gonna be loud. really spatula up on the side, but it is kind of a puke colored smoothie. It's not necessarily a green smoothie because I have all the different colored fruits in there, but it is going to be delicious. I'll show you. And you can mess with the consistency. So if you like it to be thicker or thinner, I usually do pretty thick smoothies. And I haven't eaten lunch yet today, so there you go. It just tastes like fruit. You almost don't even notice the spinach. I probably could have put a little more. And if your kids eat them, they can get like a green smoothie mustache and they'll think it's fun. So it's a good way to get your fruits and vegetables in. You can taste a hint of the spinach, but whenever I'm on a big green smoothie kick, I'm always like having spinach in the freezer and it's slimy or it goes bad in the fridge. And so I like this. It's so much easier. It's probably cheaper than buying huge bags of spinach because you can just, like I said, use half a cup and it just keeps it very easy to keep in your cupboard and easy to make a healthy smoothie. So that is my favorite way to use spinach. I also like throwing it in eggs or soups, a lot of different veggie soups. It just is a nice touch. A lot of recipes call for like throwing in spinach at the end. And so this way I don't have to buy a whole big old bag of spinach. I can just throw in a few little bits at the end and it's perfect. And now, Krista, I'm going to turn the time over to you for your delicious spinach surprise.
Cool. Awesome. Yay. Good morning, everyone. Okay. So I'm going to do one of my most favorite recipes. I usually do this, usually Christmas or Thanksgiving. I usually have this dip. It's a spinach dip. There's a story behind this. So, one of my very best friends, she gave me this recipe. Oh gosh, probably 25, 26 years ago. She was invited to our Christmas dinner and she was single and all the things. And so she brought spinach dip with her and I fell in love. And I'm like, I need this recipe. She goes, it's so easy. And she brought it in the cool little bread bowl thing and all the things, right? And so I have loved this spinach dip recipe for a very long time, right? So now I've converted most of it to Thrive. In fact, it uses the Knorr vegetable dip mix that you can buy at the grocery store. It's got lots of vegetables in it. It's got carrots and onions, and I can't remember all of them in there. But what I did to convert that was, which I still use it, but I have a sister who is allergic to MSG. And that's like in every dip on the market, right? So I usually try and make my own healthier version of dip mixes. So literally what I do is I turn the package over, read the ingredient list, and go from there. Until it looks like it should. I know that's bad, but I start with teaspoons, right? Because it's a 2-ounce package, which means it's about 7 or 8 teaspoons of stuff, right? So I put my onion salt in there, my garlic powder and my celery salt and my carrots and my onions and my things. And I use Thrive for that. And so I usually make my own, but today I'm going to actually use the dip package. But just if you want easy, go buy the little Knorr vegetable soup mix, right? Because that's the base. And then spinach, of course. And when you buy the blocks of spinach from the freezer, right? And it tells you that you need to, drain, thaw, drain, and squeeze, right? That's the typical directions for spinach, for chopped spinach, right? So you buy the block and then you let it sit out and thaw, and then you squeeze it in paper towels and you go through like 20 paper towels to get the liquid out. Number one, I don't have time for that. Number two, I don't have patience for that. So it made like mixing my favorite dip, it made it hard and difficult. And it's not difficult. I'm just lazy. And so I use, ever since I started doing Thrive, I've used the Thrive spinach instead of the block of frozen spinach, right? And so it's so much easier and lovely and easy to work with. And I'm able to control everything that goes in that recipe, right? So we're going to talk spinach a little bit, and you can see my can is open. I love these things because the new ones, I don't know if you had the new can, but the new ones are bigger, and they're like the leaves folded up. So you can see how thick it is. I hope. Anyway, they're like bigger chunks of spinach, which I personally like better. So I forgot to take this little guy out. So don't forget to take this little guy out. But So when when you squeeze that spinach and it comes down to like this much, right? It's about a cup of spinach, right? So minus the water. So, and I guesstimate at that. You can guesstimate too if you want to do the taste test and actually squeeze out some spinach and see what it is. It's hard to do weights because this has no water and the other one has water, right? It's real spinach. This is real spinach too. It's just missing its water, right? So I'm going to reconstitute first because yes, in a recipe, your sour cream and your mayonnaise will reconstitute it, but it'll make it a very thick dip. So I personally, out of trial and error, I would prefer to refresh my spinach before I add it to my other ingredients. And to the point of not all the way, right? So I'm going to do a cup of spinach here. just pour in. Oh, see, and this is when Krista's brain takes over. Like, I don't have a whole lot left. Right? Do you see that? You kind of see, I don't want to pour spinach on my computer, but yeah, Krista's just going to dump it in. As I'm not exact, right? And now look at all that wonderful spinach dust. Let me do this down. See all my spinach dust in there? Let's see. See, that's going to be wonderful in my dip, right? So I'm actually literally using the rest of the can. There's none left in there. Woohoo. Good for me. And yes, it's a little over a cup. So we're gonna adjust for that, right? So, and in my spinach recipe, I use both milk and mayonnaise. No, not milk and mayonnaise. Mayo and sour cream. That's what I'm using as the dip base. So I'm using both of those, and I'm just going to add a little bit more to compensate for that extra spinach that I threw in there. Sound good? Easy, right? And then to reconstitute, I'm actually going to use milk to reconstitute this. I should pull out my instant milk. Hold on. Sorry. Hi, I'm back. So yeah, so I've got my instant milk here. So what I'm going to do is just refresh a little bit of it. Because again, I'm kind of flying blind here, right? And it's a tablespoon for a cup, right? No. 3 tablespoons for a cup. So I'm going to do like 2 tablespoons. Because again, this is how I cook, people. I don't measure absolutely everything, right? And I know the ratios. It's 3 tablespoons to a cup of water. And I know I don't need a cup of water. So I'm only doing 2 tablespoons in here. And I put a little water, probably about a half a cup, maybe a little bit more. Let's guesstimate. I'm going to stir this up. And then I'm going to use this as my freshener, right? So let's point this down. You can see my spinach, right? That's good, right? Okay. Just going to pour this around till it looks a little refreshed. Stir it. Still looks a little dry. And I'm using milk because it's going to just make my dip a little bit more richer, right? So you can see how it's still pretty dry, right? There's no milk in the bottom. I'm going to pour a little bit more. See, I used almost the whole thing. All right. So you can see there's a little milk in the bottom, or you might not be able to see that, but it's soaking it up. So again, this kind of looks like your ball of spinach after you squeeze it, right? Look at that. See? It's like a ball of spinach after you squeeze it, right? So same concept. And you know what? The rest, if it's not fully reconstituted here, the mayonnaise and the sour cream are totally going to reconstitute that. So we're going to add that right now too. Okay. So we got this, we got mayonnaise, and it says 16 ounces of sour cream and a half a cup of mayo. And I'm going to use my cup that I used for the spinach. Can you see that? And again, I would totally guesstimate this. Dips, you can't go wrong. You can't mess up dips. I do not do this when I'm baking bread. Okay, just so you know. because you can't. You have to be exact with that kind of stuff, right? But dips, whatever. And then 16 ounces of sour cream. And then this is the Nor veggie pack. So I'm cheating this time around, but if I was doing this for my sister, I'd be making this. So let's look at the ingredients. It's got onions, carrots, tomato, leeks, green peas, and then all the spices and stuff, garlic powder, onion powder, all that stuff. So I literally make my own this to put in here, but we're just gonna break this over. Look at that. So you can see the peas in there and the carrots. They use dehydrated, but they use freeze-dried peas. Looks like dehydrated onions. So you could totally use Thrive to make your own dip mixes. How cool is that? Very cool. It's very cool. All right, so we're just gonna mix that around.
Were they small chunks of those veggies, or
it is?
Like
It's small chunks and whole peas.
okay.
So it's small veggies, like it's like our old dehydrated onions that we used to sell at Thrive. But you could use freeze-dried onions. In fact, what I have right here, freeze-dried onions, because Krista likes onions. So she's going to add some more of these in there too. In fact, why don't we just do that? Because I love the freeze-dried onions. They're one of my favorites. They go on everything. We'll move that. So we're just going to mix this all together, and then I'd let it sit for a couple of hours just to get all the flavors in there. And those are dehydrated carrots and stuff. So you want to make sure that they get all nice and happy. So I let it sit for at least 2 hours. Usually I make this the night before and serve it the next day. But how easy is that? Much better than that prepping of the spinach, right? Of the thawing and squeezing and wasting all your paper towels and all of the things, right? All of the things. And then, oh, I don't have. So I serve this dip with, so this dip, I love it with those flips, the flip crackers that have the pretzel on one side and the cracker on the other. Oh my gosh, that is the best cracker, but it'll go with Ritz. It'll go with whatever your favorite cracker is, Townhouse, whatever it is. So you can serve it with that, or you can serve it with veggies. I've done veggies like carrots and celery and all those things. But yeah, it's a wonderful dip for a holiday weekend. So, and easy, done. I'm done. Woohoo, I'm done. Any questions? Did we just lose Jody? Oh, Jody. Okay. Well, while she's getting back on, here my townhouse. So these are, yes. So these are good. Are you there, Jody?
Yeah, it just disconnected the meeting. You were frozen and it disconnected. So we'll see what it records as.
Right?
What I last heard was you said you like to serve them with flips.
Yep, I love the flip crackers with this, but they'll go with any cracker. So any cracker you've got in your cupboard. The little almond crackers, those are good with it too, that are gluten-free. You can do veggies like carrots and celery. Those are great with a spinach dip as well. All of those things. So it's always a great thing to have in your house. And I try and keep at least enough ingredients to do this on a regular basis, but I definitely serve it at Christmas and Thanksgiving. So as an appetizer. Yeah. Any questions?
Well, it's awesome.
I love your earrings, by the way. Those are so cute. Little hearts. Oh, they're so cute. Love them.
All right, you guys. So if you want to grab any spinach or any of the other specials, just get with whoever sent you this video, whether it was Krista or I or anybody else that's in our group, and do it before the end of May for the spinach to be on sale. And the milk is on sale through the end of July, but it's until it runs out. So I would grab it sooner rather than later. Like I said, 60% off is pretty awesome. So that's all we got for today. Hope you enjoyed and got some ideas for how to cook with your yummy freeze-dried spinach.
I just had another one, the Zuppa Toscana soup.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
So good, so good, and so easy because you just pour it in your soup and you're done.
Google Thrive Life Zuppa Toscano soup, and I bet you can find the recipe from it somewhere. And it has the spinach, and it is so good. And sausage.
Yep. It's yummy.
Yummy. All right.
All right. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. We'll talk to you soon.